Some hydrogen. And here as well. Now let's say active if above, let's say 1300. 1400 and 1200. See if we can get the pressure up a little bit in here. Because picking up hydrogen is really fucking things up a little bit. Slows everything down. Okay. So we'll still use the water sieve in here, but we're going to use it for just literally getting extra water. So this is going to need to be rejigged again down here. The water sieve output is this pipe here. Honestly, I think we'll come out here. Yeah, we'll come out here. And we'll rip out all of this shit. And we'll rip out all this shit as well. That should be fine. I should have used this a long time ago. I went to the effort of setting it up and I just done nothing with it. We do also have some frozen ice problems down here. I've let the room cool way too much. Meh. What are you gonna do? I like having an in-game, or else I just get bored of the game too quick. I'm 200 cycles in and I'm bored on mine. Yeah, you need to give yourself little goals, to be honest, Silent. The game at the moment is what you make of it. So because there is no end game, it all depends on the projects that you set out to do. So if you've exhausted everything that you can think of in your base, you need to give yourself another project. So whether that be, you know, making liquid oxygen, maybe that's, you know, making a self-sustained outpost, or, you know, there's lots of little things that you can do. It's just a case of, you know, your imagination more than anything, bud. Like this sort of build that I've done here, there's no reason to do this. I just wanted to try and use a geyser. There's no reason to farm pufts like this, and honestly, I don't know if it'll work in the end. I think we'll need to build something else to sustain this when this geyser's dormant. But I wanted to do it, so I'm doing it, you know? We need a new biome. We do. I thought we were going to get one in this update. I thought we were going to get a new biome for new critters. I was a bit disappointed that we didn't, to be honest. I was very much hoping for that. This puft has got away, by the way. Let's get one last egg going. Should have kept an eye on this and wrangled him quicker. Speaking of keeping an eye on things, that should be fine. Oh dear, what has happened? We'll do a reload in a minute. Reactivate our slicksters, our wild ones. They've all gone a bit weird. Oh, come on. This is important. Are you a hero, Cosmo? Yes, you are. Dig this, come on. Come on now. Of course, I didn't put automation in here because I'm a genius. So I can't turn the pump off. I'm hoping he'll come and toggle this pretty quickly. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just do a single mop and then leave. Oh no, Scyther's a hero. That is good. Right, we should hopefully be able to get this mopped. Scyther is a goddamn hero. Okay. So... now I need to get this connected somehow. So I think what we need is a few ladders to begin with. Let's see, you and you, you and you. Just rejig this a little bit. Come on, do this. No! It's gonna drop down another level. No! The oil's compressing down here basically. So it's basically getting averaged in weight per tile, if you like. And once this tile drops, the petroleum will be out of my reach. Which sucks. Big old dicks. You treat most survival builder games like a ghost racer. You're competing against yourself to either go faster, do better, or find new shortcuts. Interesting to I think I used to play like that a little bit. Nowadays I'm far more, let's just build a big old base. I used to try and get the most cutting edge way of doing things and making a build that was the cleaner, more compact way of doing things that nobody else had ever done before and shit like that. Honestly, it's a minefield in this game because there's so many changes, so you can spend a lot of time trying to perfect a build and then one hotfix later it's broken. So I stopped playing like that, and nowadays I just play, you know, to build a nice big base. That's what it's all about for me. Let's build a big old fucking base. Okay. Once these pipes are ripped out, I think I should just be able to... This is my cold pipe. So we'll have this just come in at the top here. We'll zigzag it round a bit. We want this out of granite. Could do it out of wolframite, but meh. We'll do this bit out of abyssite. And this out of abyssite. And then this can be granite. So yeah, you're going to go like that. You're going to connect to that. You're going to connect to that. And you're going to connect to that. There we go. That should do it, I think. We should be able to reach all this stuff, so that'll be fine. Did we get the petroleum? We nearly did! Okay, get this piece. Get this. Go, go, go. Very good. Very good. And then we can turn this back on. Oh, things are good. Enable. I love it when things actually work out. Without actually having a nightmare. Speaking of nightmares, where are my pufts? You jerk. Come to your trap. You... jerks. Organic slime. 1. There we go. Nice. So now we're storing our slime in this compactor basically, which is good. Gives us a nice little access to some slime around here as well. That is good. I think this is only on a low priority, so I'm surprised they're actually sweeping this stuff up. Okay, are we nearly good for pipes? Come on. What are we waiting on? We'll give this some overflow. That should work, I think. So we're basically going to have it hit the bridge first and carry on down here. But if this pipe is filled, I have no problems with it going this way. At all. So like now. So this pipe's filled, because these exosuit stations are filled. So now it can detour over to here. Does mean this one isn't prioritised at the moment, but I'll come to that another time. Still splitting it 50-50. That's fine. That's fine. Fucking pufts. Where are they? You! Come over here. Big old jerks. What have I missed? Sorry. About an asteroid crashing into your asteroid, bringing in with it hostile dupes. Maybe. Maybe, maybe. I said there's lots of scope, and there's an awful lot of like great ideas on the forums and stuff. There's an awful lot of things that have been suggested that would just be amazing. But I'm assuming a lot of it is a logistical nightmare. Like somebody brought up fire on the last dev stream, and fire is one of those things that comes up all the time, because obviously we've got flammable materials in the game, we've got, you know, pools of oil and petroleum and hydrogen gas and all these different things. Fire comes up all the time. Every time it comes up, the devs are like, we don't know how to implement that. We just don't know. It would be a nightmare. So I think they're trying to avoid certain things that just would be very, very difficult to implement, maybe. But the new dense puft will be so cool for remote locations, digging and stuff. Portable oxygen. Yeah, I would like to have a bit more of a play with the new critters. I would like to spend a bit of time looking at it. We will do a full colony as soon as it's a bit more stable. But for now, considering dupes are still going fucking invisible, I don't think we'll play with it just yet. But soon, soon. Ten cycles. It's warm down here. Not sort of decided what build I want to do for this yet. I should probably take a moment just to save this and show you something. I've got to do a reload anyway because all my slicksters are bugged and stuff. I'll show you something I've been tinkering with in a debug game. I won't actually have debug enabled, but I can show you something. Petrol boiler tinkering, there we go. Maybe like in the back where the hatches are stored, make a small compact oxygen makers just for the suits. We've technically got oxygen makers just for the suits. We've got 2 pumps for it. Alpha Fox, thank you very much for the follow, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, Johnny, we've technically got dedicated pumps for the electrolyte, for the exosuits, and we're rerouting all of our oxygen. No pumps are inactive. If any pipe is backed up, it gets rerouted somewhere else. So we're using all of our oxygen as best we can. I just don't understand where it's all going. We've got enough oxygen for the amount of tubes that we've got. It's weird. You don't feel like the whole combat system has been fully developed yet. There needs to be way more hostile creatures for that. I don't know if they want to do too much combat. I don't think they want to. Could be wrong though. I did read, Johnny. You have to be patient. Sorry, when I'm playing a game, I can't always be reading chat every minute. I try my best. There are shockworms, but they're not implemented yet. I don't think they're incredibly hostile though, Max. I think they're just hostile when attacked. I don't think they are I don't think they're a predator, do you know what I mean? Blame! Why am I getting blamed? The blame add command, by the way, is to add a thing that I should be blamed for, in case you're wondering, laughing. So yeah, I've been doing a little bit of tinkering in debug. Basically, I was chatting to a guy on Reddit that has done a build like this or not like this, similar to this, using the fact that petroleum floats on top of crude oil. So what we have here is a volcano that will emit magma, go onto a hot plate down here when there's enough magma in the room. We've got a vent that's submerged that's pumping in crude oil. The crude oil gets sent up through the radiator, which cools the radiator down a little bit, and then our petroleum floats up because again it's lighter than crude oil. It floats away and goes up here. I'm thinking we might do something like this with our volcano, but maybe a slightly different tweak on it. This made me a lot of petroleum, but it's still 242 degrees, so it's still too hot for a pump. So yeah, the only difference is in our stream base is that we have the slush geyser, and I don't know whether to use the slush geyser to cool the petroleum at the end result, or cool the plates that the petroleum runs over. I'm not sure which would be the better result. This is oil, by the way, that's at like 80 degrees, so sort of I had quite hot oil to sort of simulate sort of normal oil, biome oil, and then it passes up this radiator and through. In fact, I might be able to show you the guy's post. 1 second. Oh shit, where will it be? Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? There's an awful lot of crap on Reddit. Holy shit. Oh, can't see what that was. Congru, thank you very much for the follow, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, you catch me trying to browse something on Reddit and I can't find the fucking thing. Give me a sec. I've definitely seen it recently. Map seeds, full cooling systems. So much crap on here. I can't find it. I'm going to open Chrome. It might make my stream a little laggy. Hold on. We have many tabs open. Or not. Piss on it. The sculptures make the oil pretty. What do you mean? What's that? Today is a I hate people day. Nalash, what's going on, buddy? What the hell's going on? What have I missed? Miguel Penim, thank you very much for the follow, buddy. Welcome to the stream. How is it going? Crude oil conveyors, 100%. Ah, here we go. Petrol refinery. Might have found it. Right, let's go to the browser. Here we go. Right, I think it might be this guy. Yeah. So this guy, who is called Wachungazitid. He linked this build on the forums. I thought that's quite on the Reddit. It's quite interesting. I've already tinkered with builds where I preheat my oil whilst cooling my petroleum. That's a common thing that a lot of people have been doing on the forums. So in this guy's build, what he's basically doing, his crude oil is down here. He pumps it up through all of his piping, through his metal tiles and through his surface petroleum, which cools his petroleum down to a level. I don't know how cool he actually gets it. He doesn't have a pump down here. I think he's just theory crafting at the minute, but I thought that's quite an interesting idea. He's got a magma tank over here. Obviously, he's got a lot of magma. I've tried to do the same thing with a volcano to see if I could get it to work. And there's his vent at the bottom where he pumps in his oil. So you can see that on this picture. There's his vent down there. So his oil goes up. And what you're basically doing, you're transferring heat. So your oil is getting preheated as it goes through the radiator, which then means it takes less energy from the magma to turn into petroleum. Then your petroleum floats to the top, and then the oil that's getting preheated is also cooling your petroleum on the way down. So you end up with this sort of, you're using as much energy as you can, you're transferring as much energy as you can. I did some tinkering with it, and it seems to not work. Not work properly anyway. So the problem I was having, I'll just show you my build here. The petroleum, because of the way that heat rises in this game, you end up with a spire of heat coming off, right? So I tried to fix that by having these insulated tile sort of ridges. So the heat comes up, bang, and it hits this here. This tile here is just in case any natural gas does occur. It's got somewhere to stay. It doesn't matter if you get 1,000,000 tons of natural gas in here, as long as it's got somewhere to go. And it'll overpressurize because the liquid either side of it. But I was finding that my petroleum was coming out at 400 degrees, which is a bit of a problem. By the time it gets down here, it is at 240 odd, but it's still really, really hot. And I can't figure out how to make this any cooler. I can't figure out how to do it. So maybe we'll have more luck now that we've got the slush geyser in our single player, in our stream one, sorry. So we'll have a look. Captain Jack Sparrow, you play League? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. People who make software, I'm expected to use software that is horrible. Oh dear, Nelash. Oh dear. You hate people for an entirely different reason. Someone just ploughed down a bunch of people on the sidewalk in Toronto. What the fuck? Oh, these statues. These statues just help to transfer a bit more temperature away. They've got some submerged in the petroleum as well. Yeah, this does work. I mean, it erupts in 7 cycles. Let's do an Alt Z and see if we can get this to go. Oh, I'm not in debug. I'm not in debug at the minute. Over here we've got a slightly different build that I was playing with, but this is currently broken. With this one I was using a leaky oil fisher and basically feeding the oil onto a hot plate and then skimming the petroleum off the top. And then the petroleum comes down here, sits on top of this oil that's being cooled by some wheezeworts. Okay. This one actually works really well, but we don't get much of a throughput. So we get oil down here at like 50 degrees, but it's a much lower throughput, like a fraction, because it's dependent on the oil fisher I'm using, which is giving me 301 grams a second, which obviously takes quite a while to fill up this hot plate and stuff like that. But I think we need to abuse this idea that petroleum floats. The fact that petroleum floats on top of oil means that we can get the petroleum out the way and just keep pumping more and more oil in. I think that's what we need to do. So we'll probably do something like this, I think, in our actual stream base. But this gets you a shitload of petroleum. None of this was spawned in. This has all been whilst I was dicking about with it and building it. So it does sort of work. But again, it depends on the throughput of the volcano. This one's quite a big boy. 368 kilos a second for 63 seconds. But it's only active every, what's that, 15 minutes or something? That's some silly amount. So it's more than that. It's well more than that. 15 cycles. And it's active for 21 cycles every 27.8. So build seems bugged, as when all oil goes to petrol, the vent will be overpressurized. What? When all oil goes to petrol, the vent will be overpressurized. No, it's not. No, because crude oil sinks. You're wrong, Mex. Sorry, bud. It's like inverted dripping. Sort of, yeah, there is, I think there is an element of heat destruction, which I did mention to him in the reply. I think there's an element of when this liquid is dripped to there, we lose a lot of heat, I think. But I've not been able to test it much. I've not really done much more in this, but we'll just leave this for a minute. We'll see if we can get this to erupt. Yeah. Don't mention drips. I'll spend 20 minutes moaning about drippy people. You're a drip! Screw you. If anyone wants to read about the Toronto thing, I'd rather not right now, Red Gnome. I'll have a little later, but holy shit. That sucks. Maybe it'd be quicker if I just came out of this for a minute. I'll show you what I mean. I don't mind spending a few minutes in debug just showing you things that I'm thinking about doing in this base. Let me just enable debug, and I'll spawn in a bit of magma just to show you, or at least do Alt Z. The debug base takes like 2 seconds to load, so it's not a big deal. Okay. We did save the other game, didn't we? So that's fine. Let's go on here. Oh, Jesus. That is disgusting. Oh, fuck. Right. So we're in debug now, just to show you what I mean and how this basically works. So if we sample some of this magma, and we do maybe we'll do 1,000 kilos, and we'll just paint some of this in. Okay. So we're just heating up this tile, and you'll get like igneous rock down here as well. But we're just heating up this tile down here. So obviously this has been inactive for quite some time. What you'll see, we'll start getting some petroleum. It's going to start boiling away some of the crude oil. And then we start pumping in some more crude oil. And it's instant. Because the crude oil's sat there waiting, it just pumps straight in. And then the flow starts coming down here. What I don't understand is why this is 400 degrees. And then instantly here it's 387, and that's what I don't understand. I don't know how it's averaging out that so quickly. But you can see the idea. You know, we're sending crude oil up here at 80 degrees. It soon warms up. By the time it gets to the top, it's at 200 degrees, and then it'll sit here idle for a bit, just getting warmer and warmer. It'll never cook into natural gas because the petroleum isn't hot enough for that. We're getting oil in this pipe, in this vent here. It's at 300 degrees, ready to go. And then the next time we get some magma, you know, say we get a couple of 1,000 kilos of magma, it'll heat up this plate again, eventually heat up this oil. As you can see, it's starting to warm up a little bit. We'll just spawn in a bit more whilst we can. And it'll boil off. This is what we're saying, Mex. The vent won't overpressurize. It'll only overpressurize whilst it's a full tiles width, but as it boils away, it's instantly replenished. So I'll just put a bit more magma in. Again, it'll with every sort of build, it depends how much magma you've got coming in. This is going to erupt shortly. We'll put it on an Alt Z to speed it up. But you can see we're just filling up this space now with some more crude oil. 600, 700 kilos, 800 kilos, 900 kilos, and now it's overpressurized. Now we get some more magma. So I'm basically painting in like 3 tiles of magma here, so it'd be like fucking quite a few dupe trips, obviously, but there we go. If all oil boils, it's stuck. No, Mex. I've just told you no. It will never happen. Because the oil doesn't... Right. Maybe you're looking at this wrong. The oil doesn't just go poof, now it's all petroleum. It doesn't. That's not how it works in this game. It goes on a percentage, so it will start boiling away. So you'll never get all of this oil converting in one hit. It doesn't work like that. You'll get 100 kilos goes, another 100 kilos, another 100 kilos. And you'll notice that by when the flow starts happening up here, petroleum will start flowing before this vent is technically under pressurized. You'll see that happening. It doesn't work like that. It will never all change in one hit. So there you go. It doesn't matter how much magma I put down here, mate. It won't happen. I mean, I'll prove it to you. There you go. Are we refining petrol? Yeah, we're just showing something, basically, something that we're tinkering with. We'll probably do something like this in the stream base, but I'm just not sure how we'll fully do it yet. It gives us, it's still a bit too hot. Like, this is 235 degrees now, although I have been spawning in silly amounts of magma, in fairness. This is actually going to erupt soon. There you go. So we do get quite a big eruption off this volcano. So there you go. Now it's idle for 16 cycles. So what I should probably do is see how much we get just off the magma off this volcano. Let's do this and this and this. Let's see what we get. Just out of curiosity more than anything. We'll boil all this magma away. Like you will have a constant flow of oil in a game. Of course you will, Max. Why wouldn't you have a constant flow of oil? What are you fucking talking about? Are you saying that we don't have this much oil in the game? Are you high? You are high! I know you're high! Higher and wider for cooling. Well, this is what I was thinking, Q-Zone. I didn't know what the... I didn't want this to be something where it's like, fuck me, we've got to build something that's... like this. I didn't really want that. I wanted to see how compact we could do it whilst cooling the oil and warming the oil up. That's the thing. But you see this oil down here now is 219 degrees, 220. It is getting slightly warmer. But, can you define the problem again? Define the problem. How do you mean, Rock Summit? We want to convert crude oil into petroleum, basically. Using a volcano, ideally. And I'll need to check what sort of throughput ours has got in our stream, but that'll sort of depend how big we do this anyway. But as you can see, it does make quite a bit of petroleum. This is off this one eruption. It's quite a big eruption, don't get me wrong, but it's free petroleum at a 1-to-1, you know. 100 player percolates out the Gentleman Refinery. How's it going, 100? You alright, buddy? Fuck you, Nalaj.